What's going on, everybody? It's Fate Dating Coach Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about 3 signs. This is what I believe are the 3 biggest signs that a guy sees you as the one who's going to take you off the market and commit to you long term, okay? Now, these are all very evolutionary based. I think if you follow me long enough, I think evolutionary psychology is more well-grounded. It's an easy way for me to communicate how a guy thinks about things. So a lot of this is based on that, okay? So that being said, let's jump right into it. The first thing, if you can't read that, I apologize. The piece of chalk is small, right? The first thing is sacrifice. And here's why that's so important. When your job as an organism is to survive and reproduce, or at least survive and find a mate, the best way to do that in Mother Nature's eyes is to get advantages, okay? Meaning an abundance of resources, status. Why do you think guys chase things like cars, money, okay? Being the top alpha dog, sigma male, like all that type of shit. Wanting to dress nice, look nice, fit, all that stuff. Those are all signs to a woman that he has what you need, okay? The resources. That's why women love when men invest their resources, time, energy, effort, money, things like that, right? So this increases your chance of, or the advantages you get, the things I just mentioned, increase your chances, okay, of survival and reproduction, basically living long enough to pass on your DNA to your offspring and continue your legacy or continue your bloodline. Now, of course, I know that sounds weird today because it's like, I don't even need a dude. True, but that's the way the brain works, okay? So with that being said, when a man is willing to sacrifice those things, his own well-being, his own hard work, effort, all that, into you, it's because he sees something miraculous. He sees something in you that he's like, holy shit, she's the one. And he has to do it. He doesn't even see it as a sacrifice. It's worth it. Which kind of leads me to the second thing, which is the investment. Ladies, if a guy is investing in you long term, he sees you long term. Here's a rule of thumb, ladies. This is very simple. This is why I preach religiously, and I get really ticked off when you all are commenting on things and you're DMing me about your situation, and you're still talking to the guy and he's not even investing in you. Drives me insane, but I do understand you're human. You're all, again, it's easier said than done. I know it's not as black and white as that, okay? We're emotional creatures. However, rule of thumb here, ladies, if you are talking to a guy and he is not investing in you, he does not see you long term, there is no reason for a man to invest long term into somebody that he sees short term. That's just common sense. But a lot of you stick around anyway. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Like I said, it's easier said than done. But when a guy sees you long term, you're going to get the investment. You're going to get a guy who is sacrificing things that benefit him for the bigger picture, for you. Okay, I'm going to put bigger here. Bigger pick. Well, I'll just say picture, fuck it. Bigger picture, okay? He's sacrificing things for the bigger picture. He knows it will benefit. I always talk about like investments and business analogies when I talk about, this kind of stuff, relationship stuff. When a guy is investing in you, okay, it's literally like putting money into a stock and it's going to pay off 20 years later. He knows that you're the one. He knows you're the real deal. I'm not saying he's seeing 20 years down the road, but if he really likes you, he is okay giving up a lot of things to put it into you guys because it's going to benefit you more overall. And the reason I know this, another rule of thumb, when you're talking to a guy during the dating stage, I always say dating is transactional. You won't, I guess we can go back to here. This is why you won't get a lot of sacrifices during the dating stage. Dating is transactional. It doesn't make sense for a guy to sacrifice so much stuff for a woman who's not even his girl, right? So when you're talking to a guy and you guys are exclusive, but you're not in an actual relationship, he's pulling your fucking strings. He's bullshitting you, okay? A guy will take you off the market. A guy will invest in you heavily, long term, yada, yada, yada. But when you're talking to a guy and he sees you bigger picture, Okay, your dating's transactional, love is sacrificial, is what I say. You're not gonna get this stuff going on. You're just not. It doesn't make logical sense from a Mother Nature evolutionary perspective to invest into someone, because again, it's all about. I guess we can go to the next thing. Now I'm all over the place. It's all about risk avoidance. Okay, doesn't make sense for him to do that if he doesn't see you long term. Now, when I talk about risk avoidance, a guy who truly likes you won't put himself in a position to lose you. You hear me say this all the time. A dude who wants to be with you will take you off the market, okay? Boom. He will take you off the market, number one. Two, he won't, I know you can't read this, I apologize, play games. He won't play games. Ladies, everyone comes to me and they're like, my guy's sending mixed signals. My guy's playing hard to get. No, motherfucker, he's just not into you. You just ain't it. You just ain't it. Think of it like this. If a guy sees you long term and you're a high value woman who's highly sought after, another reason why I say you shouldn't be putting up with these games and sticking around with the guy who doesn't see you long term. But whatever, right? If you're talking to a guy and he's not taking you off the market, it's because he doesn't see you worthy of it, okay? If you have a guy who's playing games with you, right, you have to look at it from the other end. If you are a high value woman and a guy, right, if a guy wants to be with you, the worst thing he can do is play games, because all that does is kind of fog up and make what the communication very unclear of intentions and what I'm looking for and this and that and feedback and all that, right? So if you're a high value woman, you're like, what the hell is this shit? I'm not putting up with this, and you're out, right? But what happens is a lot of you lower your value to keep a guy around. You make the excuses I just said 30 seconds ago about, well, he's sending me mixed signals. Oh, he's busy with the work. He's hot and cold. No, he's just not interested. But the fact that you stick around with it allows him to do this. Okay? So that's why he actually does it, is because he wants to go back and get an advantage out of you, okay? An advantage out of you to better increase his survival and reproduction. And an example of that would be to get sex from you, right? Reproduction, sex from you while investing less, okay? Survival. Investing less, meaning I still have resources that I can invest into other women, okay? Stuff like that. And he knows this because he's playing games with you and you're sticking around. Hopefully I'm making sense here, okay? And you're sticking around. Now, of course, to avoid all this, you could just get my guide down below, absolutely free, on high value, 7 ways to instantly increase your value and have him respect you. Again, free down below. But the other thing is, just don't put up with this shit, ladies. If you're talking to a guy for 8 weeks and you're not off the market, there's a reason. There's a reason you're not off the market. If he's playing games, there's a reason. You teach people how to treat you. Ladies, this is why I preach it religiously. I already said it earlier. You have to be courted. That's what Mother Nature wants. You have to be courted. If you are not courted, then how are you going to avoid risk? That's what people don't understand. How are you going to avoid risk if you're not being courted? So women will come to me all the time and say, well, this is kind of off topic, but it kind of has the same thing to do with risk. They'll say, when's the right time to sleep with the guy? And, they want an answer and they want this and they want that. But here's the thing. Sleeping with a guy day 1 or date 10 doesn't really matter. If it's a guy who truly wants you, wants a relationship with you, okay, and he's emotionally available, and again, wants something serious, he'll stick with you no matter what, day 1 or date 10, when you sleep with him, or anything in between. It doesn't really matter because his end goal is relationship. However, the problem is you don't know, right? You don't know what guy it is. You don't know if he's the good guy or if he's the bad guy. Now, how do you figure that out though? You slow it down. You make the guy court you so you can reduce your risk. Not 100%, of course. Guys might play the game better than you, okay? You might have some type of biases that influence your decision making, but overall, from the hundreds of thousands of millions of years of us doing this with mating rituals, courting rituals, through all species, it's smarter for the woman not to just sleep with the guy, because of parental investment theory, I talk about it in my guides and stuff down below. But it's smarter for her not to just sleep with the guy and take that risk, that burden of risk by doing it. Yeah, you might find that he might be the right guy, but he might not be. But for you to reduce your risk and not to feel like an idiot after sleeping with him and him take advantage of this power, boom, you reduce risk by making the guy, what? Invest in you. Crazy. You got to make the guy invest in you, ladies. If a guy is investing in you, he's investing in you long term, he's reducing, or he's, I guess, increasing his risk because he doesn't know what comes of this, right? You're reducing yours, he's increasing his. But again, that goes all the way back here to sacrifice. See, ladies, there's a method to my madness. I'm just not good at explaining it, okay? So, with that being said, ladies, I love you all. If you want to get my guide, absolutely free. If you want to work with me, I can help you understand what your guy's thinking, okay? Links are down below. Love you all. Take care and peace.